So what is a tax deed state? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what a tax deed state is, so you will know the difference. So again, if you're sitting in that circle and very few people know about this, and you start hearing somebody talk about liens and deeds and whoa, what's the difference between that? Where are we at in this whole process? At the end of this video, you will know exactly what the difference is and how it becomes a tax deed. Most importantly, you will definitely know how this can make you and your family financially independent. Isn't that great? Great term. Do what you want, when you want, how you want, because you want. Okay, so stick around. Once you understand what a tax deed is, then I will give you a blueprint that'll show you exactly how to multiply this in your financial world. So let's just talk about that for a minute. What is a tax deed anyways? So we have to start there. Before we start talking about what is a tax deed state, there are two different things you're looking at. Okay, they're kind of the same thing. So a tax lien and a tax deed are really the same thing. It's just a function of time. When do you get involved? So every single state has rules. The state writes the rules that says when somebody doesn't pay taxes, property taxes, excuse me, on their property, this is what the county is able to do. So let's just take a state out there. It doesn't matter what it is. Some state, let's say they have 50 counties. All 50 counties can interpret those rules differently, kind of, okay? There are gonna be guidelines. They just can't go off the reservation and go, I'm gonna do this and this and that. No, they can't do that. What they have to do is they have to stick within the confines, but how they show up, so to speak, is up to them. So if a state says after a property owner is 1 year delinquent on their property taxes, we will allow the counties, in order to get their money that they need for schools, roads, fire department, police department, all those things, right? We're gonna let the county go ahead and offer the taxes up for sale after 1 year. Now, the only thing that they can do during that first year is provide or sell a tax lien. Nothing's happened to the property. Nobody's taken any properties. The county's just saying, we kind of need our money, so we're gonna offer these up for sale. The public, that's me and you, can put up the money for that tax lien certificate specifically on a property. You can't just go and go, give me $10,000 worth of liens. They say, which property, how much is a lien? You specifically own a lien on a specific property. That lien is going to have an interest rate. Most of those interest rates are anywhere from 16, 18, 25%. When the property owner comes into the county to pay off those delinquent taxes, then they have to pay whatever you paid for that taxes plus the interest rate. The county will see that you're a lien holder of record, and by law, again in state statutes, they're going to cut you a check for what you invested plus any interest on that particular lien. There you go. You don't own the property. Inverse to that, a tax deed state says, okay, this is what we're going to do. Nothing's going to happen for the first 4 years. What that means is if somebody's delinquent on their property taxes, that doesn't mean nothing. Oh, we can just not pay our taxes. That means that the lien isn't sold. Now, they still owe the money. They're still going to owe the interest rate on that directly to the county. Nothing's changed. It's just that the state says we're not going to allow anybody to buy those liens until the 4th year of delinquency. After they've been delinquent 4 years, now the state can say, we're going to sell not the debt, but we're going to sell the property. Now they're selling a tax deed instead of a tax lien. So I'm methodically going through this because there's a big difference between the two. About half of the states allow people to buy tax liens. The other half allow to buy tax deeds. What is the more better? There isn't. Okay, I mean, if you want to, I'll do another video, I guess, on what's better for the county, I guess. But for us, it doesn't really matter. If I want a tax lien certificate, I go to a tax lien state. I do not buy a tax lien hoping to get the property. I mean, hope isn't a very good plan, right? What I'm buying a tax lien for is the high interest rate, because most likely they're going to redeem during that 2 or 3 year redemption period. If I want the property, I want to go to a tax deed state. This is why people will say, we can show you how to get the property every time. Free and clear every single time. Well, yeah, I guess you can kind of do that, but that means you have to go to a tax deed state. So it's kind of a lost leader, if you will, because they're saying, oh, come on over here, we can get you the property every time. Well, all they're doing is going to a deed state. That's all they do is sell tax deeds. So you need to understand the difference between those. Now, at a tax deed sale, make no mistake about it. Oh, you are buying the property. You will get it free and clear. There are no liens and encumbrance on it, and you're good to go. So obviously, the research becomes a little more serious. If I'm buying a tax lien on a property for $2,000 and it's $200,000, heck, it could have burned to the ground. Most of the value's in the land. I only have a $2,000 lien. As opposed to a tax deed sale where I am buying the property, it's going to be a lot more in taxes because remember, they're delinquent how many years? 4 years. 4 years delinquent on that property. I'm going to start this bidding on that. It might be up to $20,000, $30,000. But if I'm the successful bidder on that property, I own the property and everything that goes with it. No liens or encumbrances, but that could have been burnt to the ground, and now I own a piece of ground that might not even be worth the $30,000. So again, you have to know what you're doing. Real quickly, that's the difference between a lien, interest rate, and a deed. You get the property. So the proper research has to be done with both of them. Anytime you're looking at tax liens or tax deeds, this would be my lien state, deed state, you want to do as much as possible to mitigate any risk. What could be some risk? I just talked about a couple. There could be a house that's burnt down, it's in an undesirable neighborhood, the value of the property is less than the value of the lien. There could be a number of things that you're looking at there. What you're trying to do is go through volume. You're not hoping you're going to find something. You will if you look at enough lists. So this is a game of volume, okay? Those that are disciplined to look at enough lists, enough times are going to win. And that doesn't mean you need to spend 24/7, okay? But a formula I've always created is 6 lien states, 6 deed states, 3 counties in each. That's 36 counties. Start getting information. What kind of information do I want? When are your sales, okay? What time of the year are your sales? When is the list coming out? What's your interest rate? Is there a redemption period? Because there can be even a redemption period on the deed states. Are there any special liens and encumbrances that aren't notified? Like, maybe a county lien, or some places won't notify the IRS. It's not a big deal. I just want to know that before going in. Now I need to know whether I want that property, and I can eliminate the IRS later. So there's all these little things that start to happen with that particular process, but it's all about volume. So remember, I'm buying a tax lien for the interest rate, I'm buying a tax deed to get the property. And everybody's attracted to this side over here where you get the property, but I'm okay with 18%, mandated by state law too. So there's an argument to be said for both. I don't think there's one better than the other, okay? So that's what a tax deed state is. And for those of you who want to put money in your pocket right away, that's where you want to go. Okay, you can also even look at tax liens that are sitting in inventory that you can start the foreclosure on immediately. In other words, they've been there for a while, it's past the redemption period, you buy it for the back taxes and start the foreclosure immediately. Now, remember, doesn't mean you're getting the property, but that's like taking 20 shots on a goal rather than waiting to take a shot on a goal. Your likelihood of scoring goes up dramatically. So as you can see with either one of these, there's benefits to both. The downside is the pitfall. The most common mistakes that beginning investors make is they don't get surrounded by the information that helps them. They go out there and they, maybe watch a couple of videos, no offense, but to something like this, and they go, oh, I'm just going to go try this on my own. How's that worked in the past? Don't do that. Okay, understand the process immensely when you're going into it, or intimately. I want to know when the redemption period's up, what the interest rate is, when do I get my money back, what is going to come with the property, everything there. And here's the great news. Right now, I put a brand new course together that's free. It's my gift to you. That literally will spend the time that we need, not in these short videos, walking you methodically through the whole process so you can say, wow, this makes a lot of sense for me. I want to make this happen. This is designed to get you going literally in the next 20 to 30 days. You can have a lien or a deed or whatever it is that you want to do. Just click on the link down below. It's higginmethod.com, and we'll get you started right away. Make that happen. That's my gift to you. God bless and good luck. Thank you.